Alright, before I go to the bug catching contest, I'm just gonna talk to this girl here who's from the flower shop. And, yeah, she's basically gonna tell us how to move Sudowoodo out of the way. But she's implying that we gotta use a watering can. Aren't those things, like, super dangerous? Yeah, just gotta keep making fun of it because it's just freaking ridiculous. Anyway, pick up our free apricorn for today. And after that, well, I guess there's nothing left to do, so it's on to the bug catching contest. So yeah, today's Saturday. I was right in the days last time I talked about it. It really is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And yeah, you have more than one Pokemon, so I can only use Zubat, which means that I'm going to be able to use U-turn without switching, so that's how I'm going to be weakening those bugs, because wing attack is probably going to kill them, and that's also why I'm not too concerned about, evolving in the middle of the contest. And yeah, I'm given 20 minutes as well as 20 sport balls. Those are equal to great balls in effectiveness. So, strongest, well, it depends on what you mean by strongest, because there's a variety of factors that determine the score, and usefulness isn't really a factor. Case in point, Beedrill. It can actually win you contests every so often, but it's not what you'd call a good Pokemon. No, usually it's Pinsir and Scyther that are going to be your best bets. Will you just stop? 5 times, yeah, just lucked out there. Anyway, something very important. In Gold and Heart Gold, this is the only place where you're going to be able to find Weedles and Kakunas and Beedrills as well. And in Silver and Soul Silver, it's going to be the only place where you'll be able to find the Caterpie line. So they aren't version exclusives, but they're rather close to being version exclusives. Sort of like what they did in Black and White with Throw and Sock, where you can only find one of the two. The one from the opposite version, you can only find them in Shaking Grass in a few areas. And yep, Zubat's finally going to evolve. Thank God, because I've been mentioning this a lot lately, but unevolved Zubat is rather weak sauce. And Crobat, well, it's not so impressive, but at least it's evolved, has acceptable stats for that point in the game. Good news is that I can evolve it into Crobat almost right away. Of course it depends on whether its happiness is high enough. A reason why I didn't put the Sooth Bell on it in the last video is that, I sort of failed to see the point to do it right now, because I've done so much mileage with it, it's quite possible that it's going to evolve on its next level up right away without even needing to get the happiness boosts from the Sooth Bell. So I'm just going to see to make sure if it's going to evolve or not on the next level up, and if it doesn't, then I'm going to grind for happiness a bit. And by the way, while I'm doing this, I might as well mention Scyther, Pinsir, Butterfree, and Beedrill all have a 5% chance. Oh, there we go! We got a Scyther. As I was about to say, all 4 have a 5% chance of appearing. And level 14 Scyther, that's pretty much the best I can hope for. So, let's start weakening it. Oh god, focus energy. It screwed me so badly in the last video. Well, at least I'm going to put that random critical down to focus energy at least. Okay, Pursuit, how much is it going to do? Ow! Critical. Well, that's not good. At least... Okay, it's in the red now, so I can put it to sleep, and hopefully it works, because after a focus energy and a Leer, might be in trouble! Quick Claw activates. No! Man! False Swipe, okay. Well, False Swipe not killing my Pokemon certainly did come in rather handy. I sort of had a heart attack for a second until I remembered that False Swipe can't kill you. As long as it doesn't do Pursuit, I guess I'm fine. I'm gonna roost a few more times just because, wow, I'm getting my ass kicked! Okay, another Leer. It's gonna get even worse in terms of damage if I let it hit again, so at least Hypnosis connects. Wow! getting my ass handed to me by a level 14 Scyther. I've beaten worse. I think Bugsy's Scyther was level 17, and I'm struggling against this. And is it going to be enough? Yeah! At least it took only one ball for level 14 Scyther. So the only way I could top this is if I weakened it a bit less. But then again, I'm not necessarily doing this to win. I'm mostly doing this just so that you have an idea of what the bug catching contest is, even though most of you have already played this game. But anyway, I think that Scyther is a keeper, and I'm not going to bother catching anything else. But as I was about to say when my Zubat evolved, is that the big difference between Caterpie and Weedle and Throw and Sock is that Throw and Sock have the potential to fuck you up very badly, even in-game. Now, note that I'm not implying that Throw and Sock are actually good Pokemon, because they aren't. It's just that at the point at which they're found in the game, before the second gym, if you go to the outskirts of Pinwheel Forest for some grinding prior to taking on the gym, they still have monstrous stats at that point in the game, so it's rather easy to die against these. Still have 17 minutes left. Well, doesn't really matter. I got pretty much the best Pokemon I can find. So let's see the results. Want to bet that I'm not even in the top 3 wouldn't surprise me at all, because of how weird the scoring system is in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, number 3 bug catcher Josh, who caught the Kakuna. A Kakuna finished 3rd, for God's sake. That's just fucking ridiculous. Okay, bug catcher Don, who caught a Pinsir. Pinsir finished 2nd, so maybe I can win. Maybe. Don't hold your breath, though. Ace Trainer Abby. A Paris! A Paris won a contest by beating a freaking Pinsir! When I said that the scoring was all fucked up, I was not kidding. Shed Shell as a consolation prize, well, it's not that bad. It allows you to override abilities and moves that prevent you from switching. Can be particularly handy on steel types that may be subjected to magnet pull. So yeah, Scythers and Bill's PC, so let's see what those guys have to say before I leave. Luck plays a big part in this. You don't say! God. Okay. Using Pokemon with beautiful colors, I think that's a reference to shininess playing a role in the score. I'm not sure shininess plays a role. I know it doesn't in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but in Heart Gold and Soul Silver it might be different. Either that, or she's referring to an urban legend that's rather popular. Or at least it was in Gold, Silver, Crystal. But anyway, one of those guys said, I heard somebody won with a Caterpie. Some players have actually experienced that, being beaten by a Caterpie. Anyway, now that the bug catching contest is done and over with, there's still that one area on Route 35 that I haven't done yet, so I'm gonna head there right now. And something that I haven't mentioned, on routes 34 and 35, you can find wild Abras at level 10. They got a 10% chance of appearing, I believe. Once again, it's the same as it's always been. You really need to put it to sleep first, otherwise you're gonna have a lot of trouble catching one, because only move it has is teleport, and what it does is that it ends the battle automatically, so you really are going to need to get somewhat lucky in order to be able to catch an Abra. Otherwise, well, there's an alternative. You can find Drowsy on these routes as well, but Drowsy is a lot worse than Abra is. Even though Alakazam itself isn't what it used to be, it's still a whole lot better than Hypno. So if you want a Psychic type from these routes, I say go for it. Go for an Abra, just because, well, it's just so much better. And this guy, I believe, sometimes he's going to call you to warn you of the swarms of Yanma whenever there's one. Oh, I was talking about Abra earlier. There it is. Yanma only has a 1% chance of appearing when there isn't a swarm, but when there is a swarm, it increases to 40%, at least according to Cerebi. Or is it 40%? Is the 40% added onto the percent that was already there? I'm not sure. Not that it really matters, because whenever there's a swarm, you're going to get a whole lot of them. And when I said you needed to be sort of lucky to even encounter an Abra, well, I just encountered 2 of them in a row. So how's that for luck? Too bad I don't need one at all. Otherwise I would have already had an Alakazam a long time ago. And sheesh, can the encounter rate be any higher? I mean, I'm not playing Black and White, I'm playing Soul Silver. Come on! And by the way, something that I just wanted to bring up, since, usually, not usually, but sometimes there are some recurring themes in comments and private messages that I get. That is, that I get lots of the same thing in a short span of time. Well, these days, I seem to be getting a lot of really, really bad advice. Like, for example, I'm getting a lot of, why don't you use this moveset for your Pokemon? And that moveset turns out to be total, absolute garbage. And, I get that kind of a thing a lot. Use that crappy moveset, use that crappy Pokemon. I got a private message from someone telling me to use Time Balls on Raikou. No, actually, that is not bad advice. It's just the fact that, Dusk Balls have the exact same effect as Time Balls on a Pokemon like Raikou that has base speed above 100, because that's how it works. In Hard Gold and Soul Silver, if it has a base speed that's in the triple digits, the catch rate is going to be quadrupled. Oh hey, it's a Ditto! That's rather rare, I think 5% appearance rate. But, the Dust Ball does the exact same thing. So, bottom line, I don't need advice, okay? Not to sound condescending or anything, but I probably know more about this game than you do. And so, there's a tiny fraction of the advice that I get that's actually good advice. But that doesn't mean that I need it. I have everything planned out for this LP, and every tiny detail has been planned in detail, so I don't really need advice. If I ever do need advice, I'm going to ask you. Otherwise, don't bother filling my inbox with really crappy movesets and Pokemon suggestions, because it's just wasting your time. It's wasting mine as well. Thank you very much. But yeah, just to come back to the Raikou thing, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to repeat it again. It's not that it's bad advice, since both balls have the same effect. It's just that Dusk Balls are a lot easier to come by, at least once you reach the Safari Zone. So, that person who sent me that private message, you can sleep. You can sleep well. You didn't offend me or anything like that, but it's just that I already had that planned long in advance. And by the way, I'm using Gengar for this. Reason for this is because Golbat is very close to reaching level 23, and I just want to check if it's going to evolve right away, or if I need to grind my happiness a little bit. So, some Pokemon flee right away. Well, I was talking about the fastball! What a coincidence! Well, they changed the way that works since Gold, Silver, Crystal, so that's not true anymore. It's only effective on Pokemon with base speed in the triple digits. So, save state. And that was just in case it doesn't evolve. If it does evolve, then it's going to be no problem. I can just save state again. So, let's see. That Nidoran is probably going to be just barely enough to push it over the top. So, let's see. Is it going to evolve right away, or am I going to need to grind happiness a bit? At least I have a Sooth Belt to make things easier. Yep, I'm going to need to grind. So, I'm going to do that off screen, and next time we're going to evolve that thing and take on the Goldenrod Gym.